All right, good morning, guys. Yeah, I already said this earlier, but just to say it again, thank you, Josh, for filling in last week, which that was already kind of planned, which worked out really nice. I was supposed to go up to Land Between the Lakes and do the Cowboy Church thing where um, Debbie and Curtis go sometimes. So it worked out really well, but it was really nice to have the Sunday off, and it was really nice to be able to. I mean, it's crazy. I was sitting in my bed, in my pajamas, getting to hear a message that I needed to hear. It was just like, man, I've got it made. It was great. It was really great. So thank you, Josh. Yeah, and thank you guys, Sam and Brayden, for putting all that stuff online, putting it together. Y'all do good work. Anybody seen the video, Will Out of Context? Hate that. I can't stand it. Yeah. So now I'm paranoid. I'm just like, Brayden's going to clip something. Everything I say, I'm just like, I'm going to have to, nope. Are you just like time stamping it? Like, ooh, at 3.5 minutes, Will says something dumb. Oh, man. Anyway, so I'm nervous. But all right. So today we're going to talk about being a blessing in 2026. We're going to pick up, Josh kind of ended in verse 34 last Sunday. So we're going to pick up in 35 and go through the next section. But today is going to be talking about being ready for the Lord. So I'm going to go ahead and say this about this lesson. In my humble opinion, and the most humble opinion you'll ever hear. Man, Josh, we're dead this morning. I know, guys. Come on, we gotta wake up. I'm being facetious. Is that the word? And my most humble, I have the most humble opinion you're ever going to hear. Okay, right? When it comes to humility, I'm the greatest. And the most humble opinion possible, I think one of the just golden standards of is this person saved or not? Does Christianity work or not? Is how people face death. Just kind of point blank. If we are scared to death, we're scared of death, then probably not working. So how we face death, I think, is like a really, really big deal. And not just like how I die, but facing how someone else dies. What does Paul say in 1 Thessalonians? That we aren't to mourn the way that the world does. Like, if you all die and you've gone to heaven, I'm going to be tore up. But I should be able to cope with that differently, knowing what? You're going to heaven. And guess what? I'll get to see you again. And guess what? I know where you're at now. You're not taking medicine, are you? No more doctor's appointments. Nothing's broken. Like, it's a good place to be. So how I face other people dying and how I face death is a really, really big deal. Okay, so be ready for the Lord. When Jesus gets done talking about possessions, like Josh did last week, and I'm going to say it again because it's such a good quote. Everything falls in one or two categories. What is it, guys? Broken or what? Fixing to break. I mean, that's good. Everything is either broken or fixing to break. Man, all right. So one option is you can serve your possessions and you can be a slave to your possessions and everything is always disappointing you because of the laws of the universe we live in. It's only getting older. Everything brand new is never brand new anymore. It's always getting older. Okay. So in response to that, here's another way you could live your life. You could live your life always ready to see God. Always looking forward to going to heaven. Always ready that when Jesus returns, he's going to find me working. Think about this, okay? There's either two categories. If there's two categories for possessions, it's either broken or fixing to break. There's two categories for Jesus coming back. You're either ready or you're not. This is a good one of those fence moments, Eric, right? There's snow on the fence. You're either ready for the Lord to return or you're not. Okay, so the question that I want y'all to be asking, that I want to ask about like my week coming up. Statistically, if Jesus were to come back at a random time during the week, what is he most likely to find me doing? or sleeping? Working or sleeping? Statistically, let's take sleeping out of that. Let's just do working, right? What is he most likely to find me thinking about? Probably still work, right? All right. What is he most likely to hear me texting people about? What is he most likely to hear me? Am I being grateful or am I complaining? Statistically, if Jesus comes back this week and just walk in on a random day, just catch me. He caught me. Is it good or bad? All right. Because when Jesus talks about coming back, here's what it's going to be like. So this is what he says. In response to possessions and what Josh brought up last week, this is what Jesus says starting in verse 35. Instead of being dressed in fine clothes, and the finest of fine, you know what you should be dressed in? Readiness. And keep your lamps lit. All right? Why would a light be on? Maybe it's because you're expecting somebody to be coming over, right? So you dress in readiness, and you keep your lamps lit, and be like men who are waiting for their master when he returns from the wedding feast, so that they may immediately open the door to him when he comes and knocks. So it's like, I know that my master's coming back. I know that Jesus is coming back, and I can handle this one of two ways. I can go on to bed. I can go on and do whatever I want to do. Or what can I do, church? I can be ready so that when he knocks on the door, I'm like, no, I was in the living room. I had the lights on. I saw the Zoom, the camera. It's like I was ready. When he knocked, he didn't have to wait very long because I was there to open the door. Blessed are those slaves whom the master will find on the alert when he comes. Truly, I say to you that he will gird himself to serve. Hang on. I don't feel like I've read this before. If I'm on the alert, the master, he will gird himself to serve and have them, the servants, the slaves, recline at the table and will come up and wait on them. Whether he comes in the second watch or even the third watch and finds them so, blessed are those slaves. So what does that mean? That means, did we just sing about this, Josh? Did we sing about, Joe, how beautiful heaven must be? Was that our first one? That was our first song, guys. How beautiful heaven must be, right? Fair haven of rest for who? The weary. Because what have we been doing? Busting our butts for the Lord, like working. And so the master, when he comes and he finds the servants that are ready, they are alert, they are working, guess what happens to them? Starts with a B. Rhymes with rake. Includes rake. Add B to the beginning of rake. Rake. There it is. What happens? Don't do it. Don't do it, Brayden. You're not allowed to use that one. What happens, guys? When the Lord returns, what's going to happen? We get all right, two people. Come on. What happens when the Lord returns? We get a what? We get a break. This life is weary. Like the things we experience physically, right, Josh? Doctor's appointments, you're like, man, I'm sick and tired of this whole body, right? The body hurts. How about temptation? Anybody tired of fighting temptation? Like that is annoying. It is annoying. How about people? Are people problems in your life? Like are people bringing you down? Like, man, there's so much stuff. It's like, I'm just ready to be done with this whole world. So when Jesus comes back, you know how I want him to find me? I want him to find me alert and ready and busy working. And it's like, this is what I tell Kelsey. My favorite vacations are like when we are crazy busy with work and we've been working long hours and out in the heat and all that stuff. I love it when it's like we've been busting our butt till the last second and then we jump on an airplane and go on a cruise, right, Mike? Like a vacation never feels better than when you need a break. Now, if you go on vacation after you just got off another vacation, after you just got another vacation, after you've just been like sitting at home for a month, Robert said that guy, it kind of loses its specialness. Like it's kind of, well, maybe not, Mike, but yeah, maybe not. But it's like, if I'm eating steak every night and then you go eat steak, it's like, I've had steak, right? Like, man, if it's a peanut butter and jelly after peanut butter and jelly, man, I'd love to have like some really good food. When Jesus comes back, we want to be ready, and we want it to be a break. And then here's the last thing. The last thing is this, okay? Whether he comes in the second watch or even the third watch and finds them so, blessed are those slaves. All right, guys, listen. We're going to read about this in a second, but chances are Jesus is probably not going to come back when it's convenient. Just nod your head, right, Carolyn? This is what I mean, guys. I would love nothing more than for Jesus to come back when I'm with my church family. Like, you talk about a Sunday morning, that would be like if I could pick when Jesus comes back, Sunday morning, and all my family is here. That's my perfect Jesus comes back day. That'd be great. But realistically, Jesus is like, you might have to be staying awake until when? What time of the day? Second watch? Maybe not even till when, guys? Maybe even the third watch. You know what that means? It means you might have to be inconvenienced by I'm going to be ready for the Lord to return. I'm going to be ready. All right, let's move on to the next slide. 39 to 40. But be sure of this, that if the head of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have allowed his house to be broken into. You too, be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour that you do not expect. All right. Anybody in here ever had their house broken into by chance? Anybody? Monica? Simone? Right? Okay. All right, 3. Maybe it's just the area. Maybe just enough people around here own guns that they just know better. I don't know. Okay, so there you go. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know why, we got broken into like 3 or 4 times when I was a kid. And they came for like the old school televisions? Like 400 pounds. Like, man, who would steal that? Like, you can have it. We don't have to move it now. Like, thank you. Anyway, so if you think about somebody breaking in, all right, you don't know that they're going to break in tonight, right? But what are you going to do if there's a chance somebody's going to break in? What are you going to do? You're going to lock the doors, right? All right, how many of you guys only lock the doors like 4 times a year when you get a hunch? No, when do you lock the doors? You're just like, I'm going to do it every day because I don't know when they're going to break in. Same thing with the car. Like, I'm going to lock the car doors. Well, which time? Like, sometimes you're like, okay, I'm leaving it somewhere you're maybe not as worried about, but generally speaking, you don't lock the car doors just because it's Tuesday. Thieves steal on Tuesdays. So we're going to lock the doors. When do you do it? Like, I'm going to lock it. It's going to be a habit because no matter when it happens, I want to be ready for the thief. That makes sense, right, guys? It makes sense. Makes sense. So what does Jesus say? You don't know when I'm coming back, so you need to be ready. All right. And then there's this section, 41 to 44. So Peter always has like either amazing questions or like the dumbest questions. And I'm going to put this in the dumb question category. This happens so often with parenting where you're like, man, I got to be careful what I say because Brayden's going to put it on the internet. Man, I don't know. Let's use something simple. It's like telling your kids, if your shoes get muddy, don't come into the house, like take your shoes off, right? Like, well, if I tell that to Calvin, don't come into the camper, your shoes are muddy, leave them outside. You know what Liam is likely to do? He's likely to come into the camper with mud on his shoes, and you know what he's going to say? You didn't tell me to do that. You just told Calvin. It's just an example, Liam. I'm not saying it's actually, but it's likely that you're like, well, wait. Who does this rule apply to? Hey, guys, first thing when you get up in the morning, like put your bed stuff up, put your dirty clothes in the hamper, and it's like, are you talking to Laylee and Bogan and Liam, or are you talking also to me? Like, that is not the way to respond to this, right, guys? So, Peter says, Lord, are you addressing the parable to us or to everyone else as well? Like, Does this apply to me or does this apply to them? And this and the next slide is going to be Jesus answering who needs to pay attention to this. But this is what he says. Who then is the faithful and sensible steward whom his master will put in charge of his servants to give them their rations at the proper time? Blessed is that slave whom his master finds so doing when he comes. Truly I say to you that he will put him in charge of all his possessions. So the first part of answering this question is that when the master returns, he wants to find the guy who is being responsible, who is taking care of the other servants. AKA, Jesus wants to find, like Peter, taking care of everyone else like the crowd, right? And it's like, if I come back and I find you being responsible, you'll be rewarded. In fact, you're going to be given more things to be in charge of. Okay? Now here's the flip side of that. But if the slave says in his heart, which this would be like Peter, we could also use this for us. But if the slave says in his heart, you know what? My master's going to be a long time in coming. And he begins to beat the slaves, both men and women, and he begins to eat and to drink and to get drunk. In other words, he's like, I know my master's not coming back. I can do whatever I want to do. The master of that slave will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he does not know, and will cut him in pieces and assign him in a place with the unbelievers. And that slave who knew his master's will, aka like Peter versus the crowds, and did not get ready or act in accord with his will receive many lashes. Excuse me. But the one who did not know it and committed deeds worthy of a flogging will receive but few. From everyone who has been given much, much will be required, and to whom they entrusted much, of him they will ask all the more. So in other words, will the crowd be accountable, Jesus? Yes, the crowd's going to be accountable, but what about you, Peter? You will be held accountable more. All right, so church family, we're going to get to this on our last slide. But you need to be asking this question. How much has God put you in charge of to be responsible? You know the parable of the talents, right? And it's a money thing. It's not like a skill thing, but still. Some of us, maybe God's only given us a little bit, right? What if you're somebody that God has given a lot to? If God's given you a little bit and you just blunder with a little bit, you're going to get punished for a little bit. But if you've been given a lot and you're successful with a lot, you're going to be rewarded a lot. But if you've been given a lot and you are a failure with the things that God has given you, that is the worst punishment. That is the, cut off and thrown with the unbeliever. And what is it with the other? Receive many lashes. But the one who didn't know and committed deeds worthy of flogging, they're going to receive but few. So Peter, the question should not be, my attitude should not be, well, who's responsible for this? Have y'all ever heard this? Well, somebody needs to get that done. Right? Man, I hate that. Somebody needs to fix that. Somebody around here needs to start, somebody. Well, who's somebody? Who is that? Like Peter's like, well, who does this apply to? It's like, here's Peter, you're not going to want to hear this, but it applies to the crowd, and it twice as much applies to you. So, what does Satan want me to be thinking? And I probably shouldn't go this far back, but we're going back to Josh's lesson. Satan wants me to be tied down to my possessions. Satan wants me to not confess Christ. Satan wants me to be thinking about yesterday and tomorrow and not today. And here's what Jesus wants us to be thinking about. He wants us to be thinking about being ready for his return. So let's look at some of these points, okay? I'm either looking forward to Jesus coming back or I'm not looking forward to it. Like that was the go-to growing up for Mom. When me and Andrew and John got in trouble, which was mostly me, you just wait till what? You just wait till your daddy gets home. Like, when I heard that, what did that do? It's worse than Dad getting home. Like, getting home, just get the spankings out of the way, go on to bed without dinner, like, fine, man. But the sitting there and waiting and just oh man, there's nothing I can do. Like, I can't, how am I going to change his mind? Man, maybe go make his bed and, I don't know, like, make him some cookies and milk. Like, I don't know, like, how can I, like, either you're worried about your dad coming home or you're not. That's just it. How do we feel about the Lord coming back? My grandmother, my mom's mom, she was the first person I ever heard say this. I don't know why it took so long, but I was probably like 20, 25. And she said something like, and I can't wait till Jesus returns. And I pray that Jesus returns. And Revelation, the last book of the Bible, Lord, come quickly. Well, who prays that? Like, is that only for old people just knocking on death's door? Who's supposed to be saying that? Why can't I say that? Why do I not look forward to Jesus coming? Why do I not pray, Lord, come quickly? Now, it might be good reasons, like, I want my spouse to get saved, I want my kids to get saved, my neighbors. But it might be like, I'm not done having fun. It's like, I still got to save up and buy this thing. Maybe I don't want the Lord to come quickly because, but I'm waiting on this one cool thing to happen to me. There's this better day that's going to happen to me in life. Either I'm looking forward to Jesus coming back and I can pray, Lord, come quickly, or I can't. Here's the next one. I'm going to live in such a way that I don't care if God walks in on me anymore. Amen. Come on, this is a good one, guys. Like, I would love to live in such a way that, and that doesn't mean I'm perfect, because we're not going to be perfect. But I'd love to live in such a way that it feels like, knock, knock, Jesus walks in, I'm not embarrassed. Hey, man, come join what I'm doing, because what I'm doing right now, I'm not ashamed of and I'm not embarrassed of. Come join this text message. Come join this post I'm about to put on Facebook. Come join this conversation. Come join this activity. I am not ashamed of what was going on right now. And man, I do not always live that way. For sure not in the past. But I sure want that to be better. I want to live in such a way that I don't care if God walks in on me anymore. Here's the third one. I want to be responsible with what God gave to me. This is like really for Peter, but this is also for us. Guys, if Satan is good at one thing, it's making you undervalue yourself. Right? And if Satan is good at one thing, it's making you think that your limit is very low, that your ceiling is very low. When God wants, what is the limit? The sky is the limit. It's like, where does that stop? Man, that keeps going. When God sees the sky as the limit, Satan wants you to think like, your peak is really low. You have nothing else to do and nothing else to offer. You have climaxed. Okay? But that's not what Jesus says. Jesus says, however much that I've put you in responsible of, I want you to do great things with what you have. And too often we're sitting around and we're thinking, I just don't have enough. Like, God just didn't give me enough raw materials. He didn't give me enough opportunity with enough money, with enough, IQ and enough better childhood, or like I've got all this stuff stacked against me. But that's not what Jesus says. Jesus says, Peter, you take the things that you have been given and you do great things with those. And if God puts you in charge of these other slaves, you know what you need to do? You need to pay them when they're due. You need to be a good leader while I'm gone. You need to feed them. You need to nurture them. And when I come back, I want to find a busy house and everybody's happy. What you don't need to do is you don't need to be like, Jesus ain't coming back. It's going to be a while. I'm going to take the stuff that God gave me and just put it all on self. I'm going to get drunk. I'm just going to eat as much as I can eat. I'm just going to beat up on the slaves that work underneath me. No. I'm going to take what God has given me and I'm going to be responsible with it. Number 4. I have more reason to be prepared than the lost does. That's all there is to it, guys. I have more reason to be ready for Jesus coming back than the lost. I need to act like that. Number 5. This is my most favorite one. I love this one so much. This is great. For while we were yet sinners, while we were enemies, what did God do? sent his son Jesus Christ to die for us, right? So I want you all to picture this, okay? God has walked in on me before. Like, if you think about Jesus' second coming, like he's coming back, well, let's call Jesus' first coming not the first century. Let's call Jesus' first coming the first time he came into my life, right? Just for my illustration. We're not talking about the first century. We're talking about, let's say for me, it might have been 2009. The first time that Jesus walked into my life, what did Jesus find? Hey, that hurts. Come on, guys. Man. What did Jesus find? God already walked in on you all. Y'all know that? He already walked in, and what did he find? He found a mess. He found a stuff on your phone in one hand. He found a needle in the other arm. He found you in the wrong place. Found you at the club. He found you whatever it is. Like he didn't find you at church being a good boy, right? He didn't catch you in the middle of a prayer. Where did God find us? Romans 5, enemies of the cross. So if God walked in on me as a sinner committing sin, and he found a way to save me, then you know what? If he's going to walk in again, I don't want him to find that again. How about that? That is an amazing way to look at Jesus coming back. It's like, listen, Jesus already came back once. He already walked in on me once. And what he saw was bad. I don't ever want him to have to find me like that again. That is a powerful way to live. And the last thing that we actually already sang about is I know heaven is going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. My church family, I hope you all just let this sink down to the core. For people like Kelsey, like my wife. For people like my good friends, like John. It's good, guys. You didn't see it. I was like, John. That's gold, guys. That's great. That is good stuff. Anyway, that's probably going on the internet. Like my great friends here, John Byrne. Guys, like, y'all need to hear this. No, how do I say this? Okay. If Jesus comes back this week and he finds you, let me say this. All right, I know, for instance, Ashley, she got to go stay with her dad. Was that 2 days this past week? 2 days she came up to Louisville, brought some teenagers, helped me do some work and stuff. It was great. Okay. I know Ashley will never regret going to the hospital for 2 days to hang out with her dad, to comfort her dad while he's getting his leg cut off. Right? You're not going to regret that. You're just not going to regret that. I know you guys are doing great things for your neighbors and your friends and your family and your trips, Brenda, right? And the long hours and the money that you're spending and the phone calls. You will not regret God coming back in the middle of you ministering to somebody else. Amen, church? But you will get to the end of your life and you will regret having more in the bank account that's going to stay here to somebody else and having less treasures in heaven. Right, church? Right, Joe? Apparently you've been teaching your kids that and doing a good job. Right, Cindy? You will regret. You won't regret like, man, I wish I made a little more money. Man, I wish I got that good deal. I saw that thing on Marketplace. I wish I got that one more toy. You will not regret that. You will regret that. You will not regret being a good steward of the things that God has already given you. You will not regret, like Kelsey will not regret, not having some glamorous degree and being an awesome mom to the kids. You might regret, like, man, I spent all that time to lose weight and get in shape. Like I wanted to keep up with these people I used to go to high school with. I still see on Facebook, and I wanted to, man, they've got nicer cars. You will not regret taking time to pray with somebody. Like I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. I got to do that Wednesday afternoon. When Mom and Dad were leaving to go to Nashville, she had to have surgery Thursday morning. That's not something I would have done 3 years ago, but I got to stop with Mom and Dad and pray with them about the surgery and pray with them about Everybody's going to be working on them and praying for dad's anxiety and praying for, and even if mom doesn't wake up, save us a seat. I don't regret that. Like you talk about, and I'm not doing it for this reason, but you talk about putting my nerves at peace and putting dad's nerves at peace and putting my mom's nerves at peace. It's not because like I'm some special prayer. I don't have special powers. I just asked for the creator of the universe to do something. And you're never going to regret that. You'll never regret spending a little more time in the Word of God. You'll never regret sacrificing a little more time for somebody else. You're going to regret getting that extra deal and getting that bigger house and getting that other thing. You'll never regret, like, you know, I could be working on my house projects right now and I could be doing this, but you know what? My mom and dad aren't always going to be here, are they? Or you know what? The kids asked about this today. You know, let's stop and deal with this today. So whatever you do, the takeaways of this, church family, be ready for the Lord. And even if you have to lay on your deathbed, and your family's gathered around, and even if maybe all of your family, you don't know if they're going to heaven yet. You don't know if they're in a relationship with God. You know what you do know is that you did what while you were here? You told them about the Lord. There's actually a story about this. Remember the rich man and Lazarus? And when the rich man went to where he went, what did he want to go back and do? It wasn't like, man, I wish I could have built one more barn. I wish I could have bought one more thing and gotten that nicer drink and gotten some more ice cream. What did the rich man want to do? I wish I could go back and tell my family because when I had the chance, I didn't. And if you are doing that, you will never, ever, ever regret it. Amen, church? Man, I'm so proud of you all for being prepared that if God comes back, I want to live in such a way that I'm not embarrassed. He can come in day or night, asleep or not, after a good day or a bad day at work, after whatever. Come on, Jesus, because I'm not ashamed of the life that I'm living now. That is so fun to live. It is so fun to live in such a way that you're not embarrassed anymore. That's why it's called living in the dark. Man, leave the lights on. I don't care. I'm not ashamed of what anybody sees. Except for what Brayden's going to clip and put on the internet. It's like, aside from that, aside from what Sam's going to do and take me out of context and get a good laugh, it's like, you know what? I don't care, man. Yeah. Throw it on Facebook. Throw it out there on YouTube. Show them what I did yesterday. I don't care. Because I'm excited for Jesus to come back. Because I'm excited to get to go to heaven and be with all the loved ones that have gone before me. And I'm excited that I've been responsible with the things that God has given me. And I'm excited that I have acted like I have a reason to be prepared, even though the lost does. And I'm excited to get to tell the story that Jesus already walked in on me at the worst possible moment, and that's when he saved me. And if he's walked in me on that, man, I'm going to live different. Heaven's going to be worth it. Maybe you're here today and you need to come just as you are. Y'all know what that means? There's a lot of churches that preach it like, you go fix your life. You go fix your problems. You tidy things up and you get your ducks in a row and then you come here, then we'll talk about it. That ain't how it works, guys, is it? That is not how it works. Bring us your broken, bring us your problems, bring us whatever it is. This is where you need to be. You come just as you are and you let God do some work. Who here today needs God's help? Man, this would be a great day to do something about it. It'd be a great day to let God in. Why don't you come and together we stand and sing.
Hey there, this is Josh Johnston. I'm an elder and teach the youth group. I hope you liked the video. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell to get notifications when we post videos or when we are live. Even better, join us in person at 1 Scenic Lane, Horse Branch, Kentucky 42349. We meet Sunday at 9:30 for Sunday school, then worship service following at 10:30. Then on Wednesday evenings at 6:30 we have classes for adults, teens, and children. Our mission is to be a family that surrenders to Jesus and glorifies God by loving all people and making disciples as we go, and you are welcome.